Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about a recent trouble that seems to be again originating in the nearby country of Bangladesh. Now this trouble is related to the movement of Arakan Army. As we have discussed before also, Arakan Army is a rebel group operating in the regions of Myanmar, especially along the borders of Bangladesh and Myanmar. So what is the recent development? Let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, Lieutenant General of a senior, what you can call as US military by the name of General Joel Vowell, he is going to arrive in Bangladesh and he is going to hold a meeting with the senior officers of Bangladesh military in the capital city of Dhaka. Now, if we talk about General Vowell, he'll also be, according to the reports, the main motive why he has come and arrived in Bangladesh and the major topics around which discussion is going to be held is related to the security issues that is creeping up along the Bangladesh-Myanmar border. Now, he is going to come along with 4 other delegates and he is a well-known senior US military officer and also he is the Deputy Commanding General of US Army Pacific Command, or also called as US Indo-Pacific Command. US Army, we talk about the US Pacific Army Command, it is simply a subset of US Indo-Pacific Command. He has participated in 3 wars in Afghanistan and 2 in Iraq. Along with that, as I told you, along with him, 4 other USARPAC officers are also going to Dhaka. Now, let's try to understand more in detail about what is the different commands that we are talking about here. Now, to ensure its superiority or to ensure the security, United States across the world has created a military command, and each of this command is responsible for ensuring that there is no threat that can emanate from this region that can compromise the security of the United States of America. So if you try to understand and look at this map here, in the entire North American region, you have the US NORTHCOM. Then for the South America, you have the US SOUTHCOM. Then for the African region, and when you're talking about the African region, it does not only mean the continents, but it also means the ocean around it. So you have US military, its branches, Navy, Air Force and Army, all operate under a particular command, for example, US AFRICOM. Then you have the US Central Command that is called as US CENTCOM, largely responsible for West Asia and Middle Eastern region as well as Central Asia. And then you have the US European Command responsible for the European continent. And then further, as you enter into the Indian Ocean, the entire Southeast Asia, East Asia, including India, and then further Oceania, that is Australia, that is under the control of what we can call as US PACOM, that is US Pacific Command. It was renamed during the Obama administration as US Indo-Pacific Command. That was overall part of the pivot to the Indian Ocean or pivot to the Indo-Pacific strategy that the previous administration has underlined. So we talk about US Pacific Command, it is simply a part of the US Indo-Pacific Command. Now the meeting is going to take place in the background of development that we have observed along the Myanmar-Bangladesh border. In this context, along the border of Myanmar and Bangladesh, Arakan Army, which is a rebel group that is largely made up of Rakhine people. If you look at the ethnic composition of Myanmar here, the majority of Myanmarese population are of Burman in ethnicity, also called as Bamar. They make up 68% population. And then you have a lot of minority groups such as Shan, Karen, Rakhine, Chinese, Mon, and 2% of Indian. Now, it is the Rakhine community or Rakhine ethnic group, the armed wing of which is referred by the name of Arakan Army. And interestingly, Arakan is also the name of mountain that lies in the state of Myanmar. And this Rakhine state of Myanmar then further borders the Bangladesh. So, Arakan Army and Myanmar's junta forces conflict is going on from last 2 to 3 years, especially when the Myanmarese military, we can say Myanmarese military junta has overthrown the civilian government led by Aung San Suu Kyi, and since then a civil war-like situation has erupted in the country of Myanmar. Now it seems that the conflict between these two groups can further escalate and potentially it can impact the security situation along the Bangladesh border, and then there is also a potential that this conflict can spill over in the nearby northeastern states of India also. And in this context, if you look at the map, recent map that has come up from the Myanmar Rakhine State, this is the Rakhine State as you can see from here. And as you can see in the northern part, it has a border with the Bangladesh. And if you look at this particular area such as Minbya Township, Brakau Township and Kyaukta Town District, all these were already which was captured, and in some areas fighting is ongoing. And now in the recent pivot, recent flip, the Arakan Army is trying to take control of the entire Rakhine State, including the port of Sitwe also. And it is in this developing situation we have to understand the context of the recent visit by the US military. Now, what is the significance of the visit? Now, obviously, the detail of discussion is not out, but many of the security experts from Bangladesh and Myanmar also believe that it is basically because currently Arakan Army has decided that it will launch a counter-offensive operation and will try to take control of three major places of the Rakhine State. These are, you have Kyaukpyu in the southern region, which is a coastal city. Then you have the Sitwe port, a very important port of Myanmar. That, and then further in the north, as you can see, very close to the Bangladesh border, you have a city called as Mangdo. So they are going to launch offensive operation where they will take control of all these three places. And to ensure that they are able to take control of these three places, they have to ensure that the supply lines are open to them. That means from Bangladesh continuously supplies are being given to them, and that is when they can fight or put a front against the Myanmar's military. So it need to ensure, if we talk about US military, it need to ensure access to those units of the Bangladesh army that are deployed near the Myanmar-Bangladesh border. So there is a general consensus and belief that the visit of US military officials is possibly to observe how the Bangladesh army units will provide assistance to the Arakan army. So this is one of the main theory. Now, apart from that, the issue that also can be discussed about, which already have been discussed in the previous meetings as well, is about the Rohingyas. As you know that Rohingyas are ethnic minority living in the coastal regions of Myanmar, and they have been persecuted by the Myanmarese government on the basis of religion. So due to this, they have been forced to flee the Myanmar, and then they have taken refuge either in the Bangladesh, or many of the Rohingyas through the Bangladesh border, they have entered into the India as well. So the military development in the Rakhine State are in many ways linked to the Rohingya issue, and there are three things that we have to understand here. There are three key elements that have make up what you can call as they have made up the discussion or discussion around it. This is a development of a no-fly zone around the Rakhine region. Second, a safe corridor so the Rohingyas can easily migrate and move from Myanmar side to the Bangladesh side. And third is obviously the right to protect. That means if anyone of any person is being persecuted on the basis of ethnicity, religion, or any kind of discriminatory practice is being done toward them, then obviously the neighboring state and the United Nations, we can say, has a responsibility and right to protect. So Dhaka has always favorably inclined toward the establishment of a safe zone for the Rohingyas, so that through the civil war that is going inside Myanmar, their life is not put at risk. So this is also going to be one major topic of discussion. Now, there is an interest of India as well in the entire situation that develops around the Myanmar-Bangladesh. But before going forward toward that, I would want to bring your attention toward the new batch that we are going to launch on the April 17th, 2025. This is going to be a weekday batch, and the sessions will be held every day between 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the morning and 2 to 5 p.m. in the evening. We will ensure that we cover the basics such as NCERT, then we will move forward to the advanced classes to tackle the advanced part of the syllabus, and also you will be having a frequent class test on a weekly basis right from the beginning, so you are able to ensure that you analyze properly your strength, weaknesses, and then streamline your preparation based on the feedback. After that, we'll also in the end phase, we will be providing you guidance about the personality test or personality, what you can call as the personal interview. And also the mains based comprehensive answer writing practice is something that will also ensure that you have access to. So we have a strict policy of 40 students per batch. So if you are not able to get admission in the April 17th batch, then also you will have the next opportunity in the next batch that will start on May 12th with the same features. And for those of you who are preparing for the UPSC Civil Services examination along with work, for them we have a weekend batch as well, where the class schedule will be every Saturday and Sunday between 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It will be a full day class, plus all the facilities that is given to the students of weekday batch will be available to you as well. And those of you who already have prepared for this UPSC Civil Service examination and are going to write prelims in the year 2025 itself in the few coming months, for them we have a free All India Prelims mock test. You can register at our test platform, and then you can check your progress and see that which subjects are where you are lagging behind and where you should focus revision in the last few months of the examination. So if you want to know more about the admission details, about the courses that we have, about the test, you can give a call to 9606900004 and 05. Now coming back to this particular topic, we know that the development which is going on in the Rakhine State of Myanmar, it also has implications on India, and that is why there is a concern that we see developing in the Indian diplomatic community as well. And the most important, the concern about India has is about the Kaladan multi-modal project. It was envisioned as an alternative route through which India can provide access to the northeastern part of India. Currently, we talk about the only land corridor through which the mainland India is linked with northeast is a narrow Siliguri corridor, or also called as Chicken's Neck, along the border of Bhutan. And that is why if talk about Kolkata, so from Kolkata, the distance to Mizoram, if you take this traditional conventional land route, is very, very long, very, very time taking in nature. So that is why to solve this problem, an alternative Kaladan multi-modal project was envisioned, where a ship carrying goods can simply move from the Kolkata port in West Bengal, then it can reach the Sitwe port. Again, if I remind you, Sitwe port is one of the area where the Arakan Army is trying to concentrate and is trying to capture it. So Sitwe port, from Sitwe port, then we have the Palitwa. That is a place here, and it is the Kaladan river through which you can move to the Palitwa, and then you can take a roadway, that is a highway you have, through which you can reach the Jorungkui border crossing between Myanmar and then Mizoram. And then through that, then further you can go to the capital city of Mizoram, that is Aizawl. So this was the alternative route because it uses different modes of transportation. It was called as multi-modal project, and Kaladan because the Kaladan is the name of river. Now, we talk about the town of Palitwa. It is now under the control of Arakan Army already, and Sitwe port is where they are going to focus again. So any change in the overall control of Sitwe port will have implications on the Kaladan project as well. Not only that, as we have discussed, that Arakan Army is also trying to storm in the northward direction along the border of India, this Myanmar and Bangladesh, and there are also other project that the Indian diplomacy, or what we can call as Indian government envisioned, was to connect Kolkata to Sitwe via the Teknaf port. Now, Teknaf port is situated in Bangladesh, just 60 nautical miles from the former port that we have talked about, Sitwe port. And then from Teknaf, then goods can be transported by road to Sabroom, which is 300 km along the Bangladesh border. If we talk about this region, this highlighted region in the red is what we can call is the Teknaf port. So from Teknaf port, then further we can go to the Sabroom, which is about 300 kilometers away, and then from Sabroom you have an integrated custom border between Bangladesh and Tripura, and that is from where you can enter into the region of Tripura. So these are the two major transportation projects, or we can say the project that connected India to the northeastern part, mainland India to the northeastern part of India via alternative route, that can also come at risk. And obviously the other concern is again the exodus of Rohingya that we can see, which can have again a refugee related crisis on the Indian land as well, or Indian mainland as well. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you got the idea behind why Bangladesh seems to be in trouble again, and why there is a visit of a high-profile dignitary from the US military. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.